Alright. We are, all set. Okay. Let me turn that down because I can't hear my, voice. Alright. Welcome back, everyone. Shit. Welcome back, everyone, to 10 Points to Gryffindor, where last episode we left off. The gang had slept in a hotel in Rabanastre and decided to come down and get breakfast, thus increasing Wedge's rage more so than ever. And
that's not our fault.
totally your fault. All right. No. After eating a nice breakfast and talking, they had they had gotten up from their seats and they had decided to go back to the airship to return the wedge, and hopefully him not blow a gasket. All right. And after arriving there and settling down some, and after nearly fixing the airship, Nyx had a conversation with good old Midas, who happened to be there, along with Biggs and Wedge, who were kind of in the background, about a mech that he's trying to build to help to help them with the destruction of a good old Dragon Queen fellow. And then this later on went into a further conversation on how things are going to be in Ishgard, due to Midas having a nice facility there, and that just so happens to be in the same continent where the water crystal is kept. And after some more time discussing a plan, he later went back into his quarters and talked to Orion to see if he can get him to probably assist them on their war prevention. And that is where we are now. You just got off the phone with Orion, and you are in your cabin, along with Vesta in her cabin, and Franklin, you're in your cabin, correct?
Yes.
Alright. And, yeah. After...
Everybody's in their cabin.
Yeah. And, when you get off the phone, or the link pearl, you, you hear a knock at the door.
Yes?
It's Wedge. We were wondering, when exactly did you want to take off?
Instead of shouting across the room through a door, I just kind of walk over, open the door, look around, look down, see Wedge. We should probably start heading out immediately. The longer we wait, the more things are probably just going to end up going to shites.
Alright. And then he heads over to the door that's right beside yours, and he knocks. Vesta, that is your door.
Oh, yeah. I'm just gonna get up and open the door as well.
So, we were wondering, when did you guys want to head out? He asked the same question while you're still in the doorway.
Yeah, and it's just like, I just answered that, Wedge.
Just gotta get everyone's opinions.
What? As soon as everybody else is ready, which I think is anytime you're ready.
Interesting. Walks across the hall. Huh? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, dear God.
Do you not want to leave right now, or?
Just making sure I got everyone's opinion. And then he walks back.
I mean, we can go back to Rabanastre and leave you here for another day or two.
I would rather not. And then he walks across the hall. Alright, and he says, alright, everyone. And he starts knocking on everyone else's door. Alright, we're going to be heading out in a little bit, so do whatever it is you need to do before we leave. Prepare yourselves, because we're going to be flying into some very frigid weather. It's very cold in Ishgard, so I'd recommend bringing something that'll keep you warm there. Unless you guys wanted to make a trip to Rabanastre and pick up some warm clothing before you left.
I mean, would you want us to leave you here while we go to Rabanasta for another day and pick up some warm clothing?
I own this ship, bitch. Don't try anything. And then he walks away, kind of smirking.
Well, I think we should be all right for the most part. I mean, Franklin, you're in. Is Franklin even in the hallway at this point?
Yeah, I've like opened my door and just like stand in the doorway.
Yeah, Nick kind of just looks over and is like, Franklin, you're wearing armor, so I don't think you're going to get too cold in there.
I reckon I should be alright.
Plus, you and Evangeline are both from Spira, so at least one of you should be used to the cold weather.
Oh, you know I am.
Same here.
You still might want to put something more on. I don't know, but
And she kind of like looks down.
And then Vesta and I will figure something out. So, I mean, worst case scenario, we could just start a bonfire.
In the middle of a city?
Just a light one.
I'm sure there will be clothing stores when we get there.
Oh. Actually, that reminds me. Do we want to stop in Cornelia to pick up our partial reward for restoring the Earth Crystal?
We could.
It might help if you need to buy any expensive materials for your project.
Oh, that's a good point. And just about any guild would be helpful.
Yeah. We don't want to have to
Because
later.
that's true, and after not haggling with that smith, I could use a little more gil to get supplies if necessary.
Sounds like we're hitting Cornelia first.
Yes. And is Wedge still in the room, or is he gone?
He's kind of just hanging there, watching this conversation go down, kind of just wallflowering.
Just kind of look over and is like, you get that, Wedge?
Yeah, I got you. And then he turns around.
Right. And then... So, I guess for the most part, plans are set. War is in motion, and with any luck, we may make it out all alive.
I'm pretty sure you've all been through, hell, we've all been through, some tough situations, so I'm pretty sure we can walk out of this one the same.
Yeah.
Let's hope so.
Right then.
Yeah, and then I turn over to Franklin and Evangeline and go, I spoke with my brother, and to be fair, he's not entirely sure how much he can help, but there's a good chance that he might be able to make his way over to Ishgard and to help with defenses and whatnot.
I mean, if you trust him, I trust him.
He's my brother. You go ahead.
I was just, she was just gonna say, how, do you figure that he might be able to help?
Well, like I said, he's had training in combat. He's... when we were younger, and for the most part up until last year or so, he's been trained by some of the best soldiers in the Crystal Guard, and was originally going to be taking over the Crystal Guard, but that's a whole thing that never happened. Not only that, it's one person that we trust that we can make sure can help defend Spira if the Dravanians end up pulling something. And if there's going to be a moment where we're going to have to split up, then we're pretty much gonna need as many people we can trust as possible.
You've a point.
I reckon he'll do well in the battalion. I mean, again, like, you mentioned that he was going to take over the Crystal Guard. You have to be impressive to almost do that.
Well, it was my father's idea for him to be a part of the to take over the Crystal Guard, but I guess things didn't go out quite as he expected, which is almost an understatement at this point.
A lot of stuff didn't go as your father expected. But
And I'm honestly thankful for that. I mean, if things did end up going the way that he wanted, then some noble from another nation would have most likely taken charge of my father's estate. Orion would have been a part of the military, and tradition would have turned us all insane or into sociopaths. So
well, I'm glad we avoided that. That's a good thing.
well, let's hope so, and let's, for the sake of both our names, I really hope that there isn't anyone in your family that I was going to be married off to originally. That would be very embarrassing.
Yeah, I reckon. I mean, yeah. That whole my family is built on tradition, but I don't. They never really mention the whole arranged marriage thing, but I don't know.
I mean, for all I know, I could have been married off to Lord Vaughn. Oh, that would have been terrifying.
Ooh, man.
Ruvik might have gotten jealous in that case.
Vaughn's not really my type. I don't even know if I have a type.
That's a say. But anyways, Cornelia?
Cornelia.
Let's do it.
So yeah.
And thus ends the conversation.
Alright, so. Yep, okay, so you, Evangeline goes up and alerts, Wedge, and Wedge then alerts this to, Biggs, and you guys eventually, after some preparation for a few minutes, you guys do take off on Le Ragnarok. And you go for, oh wait, no, wrong place. No. You guys fly your way to Cornelia into the airship hangar, which takes you about an hour and a half. And you have arrived in Cornelia.
Alright, now, are we all planning on making our way to King Sid to get the money, or we just want one of us to go in, get the money, head back?
Evangeline kind of goes up and says, don't you think we should probably brief him on everything that's happened so far? We wouldn't want to leave anything in the dark with him.
That's true, because hopefully Cornelia and Rabanasta can re-establish contact with each other at this point, and things can go towards a direction that is better for the rest of Albion.
Actually, recapping Vaughn, or I'm sorry, not Vaughn, the king, it brings up another point. We're still decided we're not going to tell him about his daughter, right?
Oh, yeah.
I'm still not 100% sure if it is his daughter or not, especially if it, and even if it is, it may not be his daughter from here. It may be the one from the alternate alien, for all we know, which could make matters even worse, and last thing we need is to give anyone false hope.
So that's true.
Yeah. I mean, You reckon maybe this version of fucking what was her name? Angelica? Maybe already started on that path? And the dark
I
version
hope not.
was just a mirror?
Dark version, for all we can figure out at the moment, is still originated from some sort of Magitech creation, which that in itself just makes things more complicated, because if we go on to say, oh hey, we might have actually run into your daughter, she is the chick that is trying to destroy all of Alien, by the way, she might actually be a machine. I don't think that's going to go over well. Not to mention there's several other things that we probably shouldn't mention 100%. Like, for the example, Vesta has control over the dragon that almost destroyed half of Elian. Possibly.
Probably not.
Yeah, I'd prefer if Cornelia does not turn into Bermesia for me.
I think that goes for everyone. And if more people realize that you had involvement with Bahamut, things might turn pretty bad. And this might end up being more of a witch hunt, which, considering that you're Warrior of Light, makes things even more complicated, because it's a matter of, do we trust to save the world, or fear to make sure that Bahamut never returns?
Yeah, it's safest that we just stay on everyone's good side for now.
Exactly. And if we're lucky, we won't have to get involved with that dragon, because honestly, the last thing we need is... we've had this conversation before, but there's a lot at stake, and I don't know if involving Bahamut in any form might be a good idea.
Oh yeah, I mean, I understand that, of course.
Right. Off to see the king, I guess.
Alright.
And thus we walk and the conversation ends.
So yeah, you walk out of the airship. Biggs and Wedge kind of stay behind, along with Midas, and yeah, you make your way through the city, and you pass through the guards as usual, and you find yourselves in the king's chamber.
What's he up to now?
When you guys walk in, you see the Chancellor and the King just kind of sitting at a little table. Like a table that's kind of not in the center, but more like off to the right next to the throne. And they seem to have one person on one side of the table and the other on the other side of the table. And there's this big board with a bunch of circles going through it. And you can see the King picks up what looks to be a coin of some sort, and they put it through the little hole, and he says, "Ooh, I've got you this time." Are you sure about that? And then he drops a token in one of the holes, and it lines up to be a straight line of 4. And the Chancellor kind of celebrates, and there's like, "Ah, got your ass!" And then you see the King kind of go,
As they're in the middle of this, I just very loudly clear my throat.
Oh!
Is it a bad time, guys?
No, it is not. You happen to arrive in our little game session here. What is it that you needed, Chancellor? And then he says, right away, and he just kind of pulls the table away to the back room, where literally everything comes from. But the King kind of goes up, and he says, you'll have to excuse me, I was kind of, in the middle of, a rivalry, I can't speak, rivalry with, my, Chancellor there. And he sits back in his, throne. Alright, I presume things are going well with you all. How are you?
We bring news from Rabanasta, Your Highness, and
Oh?
things have definitely taken a turn for possibly the better. And some of it may be a little confusing, but we spoke with the members of the Rabanasta Council and discovered that one of their members had originally stolen the Earth Crystal, a man by the name of Kuja. Not only that, apparently, Rabanasta was under the impression that we cut off ties in communication with them and not the other way around, which led to a variety of confusion, but from what I can gather, Lord Vaughn and the Council of Rabanasta does not hold Cornelia or any of the other nations in disdain for the scenarios involving Bahamut. We spent our time in Rabanasta trying to search for this man Kuja, only to find out that he had apparently been hiding under everyone's noses as a notorious author by the name under the alias and pen name of S.
Oh, S. I recognize his work. I read some of his stories to my children. Well, one of them.
Yes, well, apparently S was Kuja, who just happened to be a very powerful, very insane mage from another dimension.
Another dimension, you say? As in, not from here?
Not from this alien, that is correct. Like I said, things get very confusing.
What about the other one? The other alien? You've told me about. Is he from there?
Apparently not. That's where things get even more confusing. He's from another dimension.
Interesting.
We can talk about the theories on that later, but long story short of it is, we were able to find him, defeat him, return the Earth Crystal back to Rabanasta, and restore its light. However, we've also come across information that is possibly dangerous and terrifying. Some of it, a part of it is the fact that Kuja, his allies, and their leader, the Dragon Queen, has started to orchestrate a war between Spira and Dravania.
Dravania. Those dragon-like beings again?
Yes.
But they quelled their arguments years ago, decades ago.
Well, whatever the case may be, the Dragon Queen wants to start another war between the two, and is using yet another henchman, or more along the lines of a hench demon, or possibly fallen angel, I'm not entirely sure. But whatever she is, she's powerful, terrifying, and is trying to instigate a war between the two nations again.
Well, luckily we have you all to aid in this war, and whatever that thing is you speak of, if this truly is the source of that, then I'm sure that you'll find a way to bring it to an end before things get out of hand.
I wish I could share your beliefs, Your Majesty, but at this moment, we may not entirely have the power to take on the Dragon Queen head-on at this time, but Me, along with a few other engineers, are going to be starting some research into a possibility of at least gaining an upper hand. What we do know about the Dragon Queen is that she originally started as a Magitech machination of some sort. Now, I have the notes from the person who designed the original machination that became the Dragon Queen. And with the help of some engineers that I've started to begin to trust, I hope to at least find some way to gain understanding as to what may have happened that led the Dragon Queen to not only become rogue, for lack of better words, but also to have gained the power that she contains. And if I'm lucky, I might be able to create a project that may have power that would throw her off, if not maybe give us some difficulty against. I'm not 100% sure. This is all purely hypothetical, and me just at this point hoping for the best and relying on luck.
If what you say is true, then maybe. Never thought I'd have to bring this out, ever. But I think I might have something for you all to aid you in your journey. Whenever do you all plan to stay in Cornelia?
Not for long. We merely came to gather some resources and collect reward for restoring the Earth Crystal, and then we are making our way to Spira almost immediately.
Well, if I might, I would ask you to stay in Cornelia until later on tonight. I have something for you all that will prove to be a really big boon to your party. Something that could actually turn the tables of war, so to speak.
Give us one moment, if you would, Your Majesty. And I kind of grab the rest of the gang, make kind of enough distance to where we can, like, converse without being completely overheard. And I just kind of look to everyone and I go, what do you guys think?
To stay an entire night in Cornelia? I reckon I do think we're on a time crunch, but I mean, he mentioned that he had a boon to make it worth our.
Get one, and he hands Evangeline one. It is a little baggie full of coin, about 550 gil inside.
Oh, hell yeah. I'll take that.
Go ahead and mark.
Oh, I am rich.
I am slightly richer.
But yeah.
But then again, I'm rich anyway.
That's true.
This is just an extra little bit for your person, I guess. But yeah.
Hey, if it means I don't have to go through my own coffers, I'll take it.
There. But yeah. He hands you that money and he says, "Alright then. I will send some guards to collect you all whenever it's time."
Very well. We'll see you then, my lord.
Fairly well, for now.
May you walk in the light of crystal.
He nods his head.
And I make my way out.
Samesies.
Vesta will follow.
Alright. And yeah, so after you close the door, you can kind of hear some scrambling behind it, and he's like, there's more like a cutscene kind of thing. You could pretty much he starts like getting out of his his throne, and he starts walking, looking around. Chancellor. And then he kind of motions, and he brings out the table again. Rematch now, and then that's it. And then cut away. And yeah, so you guys are out of Cornelia Castle, and you are in the slum. Not in the slums. You are in the Markets district.
Right. Now, head back to the ship and converse with everyone else, or do we all feel like doing a little shopping again?
Well, since we're in the city, we may as well pick up some cold weather clothes.
Yeah.
You guys, if you're seeing this in the stream, I don't know what's going on.
Crazy.
Hello?
Hello.
Hey,
Am I-
welcome back.
Am I returned?
You are
I think
returned.
so.
Alright. Probably our internet just went on the fritz, because as soon as I typed in the thing I wanted to type in, my computer kind of did a thing, so.
And there it goes again.
It's back.
It's back.
We'll be right
Ah.
back after these regularly scheduled programs. Alright. We're back on track. Shit got good. Alright. So, as I was saying, you guys, you walk into this, clothing store. I couldn't remember the store you guys were in. You guys walk into this clothing store, and sitting at the desk, you see this little green-skinned monster little thing sitting at the table. Sitting at the clerk's table. He has yellow beady eyes and a brown cloak with a little lantern in his hand. Let me grab a picture.
Excuse me.
Bless you. Oh shit. Hang on. There we go. And let me find the picture. There we go. Boom. Alright. That's what you see there.
Oh.
And he's kind of looking at you, and he's just staring. And he has a little knife in his hand.
Oh dear. Okay, so he is wielding the knife.
Yes.
Oh
Good
shit,
to know.
start initiative, gang. No.
How's it going? Yeah? I see.
Okay, I thought the Moogle at Rabanasta was weird. What is going on here?
Let's be polite in people's stores and places of businesses, please.
And then after a while, after him yelling and shouting, he's just you see someone coming up from behind him, and he kind of just picks him up. He's this little short thing, and he kind of just sets him down. Excuse me, you'll have to excuse Robert. He gets a little finicky. And this person that you see interview, he kind of just, he's just your average looking storekeeper, think of no one. Just he's just your average looking store runner, shopkeep guy. And he's just like, so, what exactly can I get for you?
I should. We're looking for some cloaks, particularly of the sort of winter-esque variety.
Oh, thinking of traveling north, do you?
West, actually.
Oh, west.
Well, north-ish west? I don't know.
I presume
We're headed for
Ishgard.
Spira. Yep.
Ah,
Yes.
okay. So, yes, I can help you out there. And it's just for the 5 of you, correct?
Yes.
All right. So who exactly do you? Who exactly is going to be grabbing? Who actually wants clothes?
Um,
I certainly
I'll,
do.
yeah. Vesta will take one. I'll take one. No matter what, Evangeline's getting one.
I shall take one as well.
All right. And Rubik says, "I shall take one as well." And okay, so yes, so all five of you. Okay, so I just need to get your measurements. If you wouldn't mind. Well, ladies first. You, madam, you look like the type of people I measure on the daily, so you should be quicker. And he's pointing to you, Vesta.
Oh, alrighty.
All right, just come inside this room, and I shall get your measurements, and I'll ask you some questions about the garments that you wish.
Sounds good to
Oh, sorry.
know.
All right.
So we'll head back to the room.
All right. And this shall only take about a few minutes. And yeah, so he heads in the room along with you, and he gets your measurements, and he asks you, "All right, so what sort of style of cloak?" While also kind of examining, what kind of like what style of garment would you wish? I know it's something that's going to be more practical for the winter, but surely you must have some sort of look in mind.
Really, I just need to be prepared for the cold weather. I'm not too picky on style.
All right. Well, how about I go with your regular color scheme that you have already now?
Sounds good to me.
All right then. Bring the blue girl in here. She'll be next.
Will do. And I will head out and gesture to Evangeline.
All right. And Evangeline heads in, and she gets her measurements done, and it's simple like that. And eventually, Evangeline kind of walks out. She got her measurements stuff taken, and she goes up to you, Franklin, and she's like, "All right, you're up."
All right. I'll head back.
All right, and you head in, and he's like, he starts to measure you, and he's also like, "All right, so what sort of look were you going for? Did you want a particular style, or did you want something just simple?"
I was thinking kind of like this. It's kind of like cloak that goes about maybe down to my like ankles. This kind of like fur cloak. Kind of like a darker blue kind of color, if that makes sense.
Okay, and you would like this to be kind of sort of okay, because this sort of thing is going to help keep you warm. Not only the cloak, it's going to have a couple of things included. So I have two options for you. You can have it as sort of a separate, but that you kind of lay on top of your armor, or I can build this into your armor.
Oh. You know what? I reckon if it's not too much of a hassle for you, I'd like to have it built into my armor.
Okay. Okay. Cool. All right. And then that means do you have any extra clothes underneath that, or do you want?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can. Yeah.
All right then. Before at the
He's just
counter.
shirtless all this. Go ahead.
But no. Sorry. He says, all right. Well then, that's good. Then once you go up to the counter and I ring you all up, I will need your armor to do that with.
Gotcha.
And all right. And so yeah, go ahead and grab anyone, the other two, or anyone else that's out there.
All right. I'll head out and say, all right, Nix, you're up.
All right. I make my way over.
All right. And he opens the little curtain, and then he's like closes it, and he starts to measure, and he's like, okay, so you have a certain, I guess, look to you that's I've never really encountered before. So, what exactly did you want as for like a style? Did you have a specific one in mind, or did you want to have anything?
I'm just relying more on practicality, enough fashion, enough as is.
Hmm. All right, then. Since you don't really have anything in mind, then how about I just go with something that's closer to what you have on now, like a same color scheme, sort of.
I'd appreciate that.
All right, then. All right. Well then, go ahead and grab the last person, and I can get him measured.
I make my way out, look over to Ruvik, and I go, "Don't flirt with him."
How could you assume such things? I would never do such. And then he kind of just walks in mid-sentence. And in the curtain, he's just kind of getting his measurements measured, and he just comes out of the door looking all smug, and he's like, and the guy who's measuring people, he also comes out of the curtain. He's just like, all right, so. He starts to walk over to the counter, and he says, "All right, everyone in line in the order of measurements, I guess that I've measured first. So you would be first." Points to you, Vesta, and everyone make a line afterwards.
Alrighty.
And
Moving them up.
he sort of starts writing down, copying down. What is that? Oh God.
What?
Oh.
General shot.
I was like, what the hell? What does that sound? I know I'm not getting hit up that much, so I mean. Alright, so. No, alright.
Fires up Discord on my computer because.
I might have to turn on streamer mode.
Oh
Let me
God.
quickly turn on streamer mode. Okay, streamer mode is enabled. Never mind. So I guess they can't hear this on the other end. Alright, so, yeah, okay, so he looks to you, Vesta, while everyone is forming a line. He's just like, alright, name?
Vesta Murray.
Mm-hmm. That's with a Morray, correct?
No, that would be Morais.
Oh, okay. Nice. Okay, and your total would be about 50 gil for your garments.
No problem. And I will hand over the 50 gil.
All right, thank you. And your garments should be ready within a couple of hours.
Thank you so much.
Damn. This guy works fast.
Yeah. That's why I'm not even blinking at the 50 gil.
Yeah, 50's not bad.
And the next person in line, which would be Evangeline. Name, Evangeline. And Gil, she pays over the Gil. She does the same process. And you're up next. Nix? No, wait, Franklin. He's
Yeah,
like,
it's Franklin who's next.
Franklin? I mean, wait, no, name?
Franklin Viala, sir.
Alright. Vialis, and... Alright, okay, so your total, because of the extra little bit of work that's going to be going into it, your total will be 70 gil.
You got it. Hand it to him.
Thank you. And your set should be ready within about 2 hours and a half, going on to 3.
Thank you very much.
All right. Okay. And next.
That'll be me.
All right. Name.
Nick Drake.
Nick's Drake. That's Drake, correct?
AIK, actually.
Ah. Okay. Got you. Okay. Drake. All right. And your total would be since yours is, a little bit more simple, yours would be around 50. So 50?
Fair enough. Hand the money over.
All right. And yours would be ready within 2 hours. All right.
Sounds good.
Okay. All right. Next, and Ruvik, he gets his name down, and you can see that during this conversation, he starts to get a little weirded out.
Is the shopkeep actually blushing?
No, he seems more weirded out than anything.
Oh, good.
But the shopkeep is just like, all right, everyone, I shall have your stuff within the allotted time. So feel free to walk around the city, and your stuff should be ready at that time. So thank you for your business, and I hope you will find your garments enjoyable and very practical for the winter.
Thank you very much.
All right, take care.
Here's what.
All right, and you guys head out of the little thing, and upon turning around to the door, you see little Robert there with the knife. You're like, God damn it, Robert, get away from the door! Get, and then he kind of just hops over the desk, picks him up, and then he brings him back over. I again apologize. He gets very irritable, so just take care.
As soon as we're out of earshot, I guess, I just look to Ruvik and I go, "What did I tell you?"
But you say that to who again?
I'm saying that to Ruvik.
Oh, okay. And you said,
What did I tell you?
what? I did nothing wrong. I just simply exercised my right to flattery, one might say.
Ruvik, flattery's never worked for you. It's one of the reasons why you almost got yourself killed.
Hey, I can have fun. Let me have some fun, okay? I'm getting old.
Yeah, happens to everyone eventually. Just kind of walk off.
Easy for you to say. And then he just kind of walks along with you. All right. And where exactly will you be going next?
I mean, there really isn't anything else we need to get, I don't think. Like, didn't we get potions? Because we got potions last time when we were in Ravenaster. Or you guys did. I went somewhere else. Honestly, I'm still good on potions for the most part, so I can hold off for a good bit.
Yeah, I don't know if I've even used any since the last time we went shopping.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, which I think was when we were in Ravenaster, so... Yeah, I don't think we need to do any more shopping. I mean, we could kind of chill at the airship, kind of like let Biggs and Wedge know what's going on, and then grab our cloaks, and then eventually make way back to the castle whenever Sid is willing to reveal what he's got planned.
Yeah.
So?
Like a plan.
Alright. So it's to the airship for you?
Yes.
Alright. And, yeah, you make your way back to the airship from the markets district, and, upon arrival, you see, Biggs and Wedge kind of sitting there, kind of, looking at you all, and, looking back and forth with with Amon's journal in his hand.
Well, seems like we're going to be staying here for a little longer. King Sid said he had something to show us that might actually help in the coming fight. Did you find something in the journal?
Oh, yes, we did. Oh, my gosh. You're gonna want to have to come in here and sit down for this.
I suppose so. I just basically follow Wedge into the airship.
Alright, 1 second. Crap. Hang on. Sorry. Need to grab something.
No worries.
Nope, shit. Alright, there we go. Alright. So, he walks you all into the airship, and he goes towards where the lounge kind of area is. And,
Oh yeah. Also, before we keep going, is everyone following me and Wedge, or are you just kind of all doing your own thing at this point?
Oh, I'm following behind.
So,
Okay.
Alright, so this may be a little hard for you all to hear, but it's very complicated. So you're all familiar with Omni Crystal, correct, and its origins?
Familiar enough, at least, yeah.
Alright. So there's a little bit of a thing here said by Amon that a long time ago that the Omni Crystal sort of exploded. This is many, many years ago. The Omni Crystal, obviously, the main source of aliens' power and the reason why it's even still a thing here, it exploded. And then, upon this explosion, the world again went to shit. And this is, where our original warriors of light, who still, are in legend today. And he kind of points out of the window, and when he points to the same statue of the horned, helmed warrior of light that you all know. And he's like, and those shards that kind of splintered off from the Omni Crystal before it was restored is the sort of the power source that was used by Amon to make the Dragon Queen. This sort of shards Amon gave a name to, called materia. And these material fragments, they were used to power a machine that you come to know as the Dragon Queen, but not as the one that we know today. We know her, as we know her, she's only a part of the original. The original was made in the form of a little mechanized dragon. It was about as tall as I am, and it was just a flying, talking dragon until we haven't really deciphered the whole thing, but we assume that some sort of malfunction or some sort of self-awareness turned it into what we have today. And it says here in Amon's notes that it also obtained a couple of powers that you might have recognized, along with one extra. We all know that she can shapeshift, she can not only fly, she also has amazing power, and of course make duplicates of herself. But there is one other. She has the ability to possess people. And I don't mean like just possessing them and just her in a body and she's like a pilot controlling something. No. When she takes over someone, she fully assimilates herself into that person's being, and she kind of adopts all of the host's feelings, sort of feelings, anger, emotions, everything. She literally becomes that person. And that's all we could figure out right now. we did all this digging from last night to, well, I mean, from, you know, we did all this digging, retcon, from the time we were flying over here to now. Thanks to our pal Midas here. And that's what we have so far.
So let me get this straight. The Dragon Queen is powered by a shard of the Omni Crystal. And because of that, she can basically be one of the most terrifying things, and almost 5 times is now 5 times as terrifying than we originally thought.
This is the Omni Crystal, as we know, is the most powerful thing in this world. Literally nothing compares to it. And for her to be powered by such things it is terrifying.
So she basically just ensured that we would never win, because if we leave the Omni Crystal like alive after we defeat her, who's to say she won't just come back? But if we destroy it,
No, wait. This might actually be good. Because now we know what powers her, which means Wedge. Did Amon ever say where he got this materia, or if there were any other deposits of such?
Well, so as far as we've gotten was, this is before the Warriors of Light, so a long time ago, about 2,000 years ago, before then, in modern-day Cornelia. So he found these shards here, and I assume that after she became sentient and such, she found a way to hop dimensions, and thus tormenting the Warriors of Light there. And we don't know, but all we know is that she's from here, this world, and she had obtained those things thousands of years ago.
Wait. Okay, we'll track back to that later, because that in itself is already terrifying, but if... Oh, that could be... Has anyone seen what I'm seeing here? Please tell me I'm not the only one.
What are you thinking here?
So, I'm thinking that now that we know what powers her, how she's so powerful and so strong, because of these Omni shards, this materia, whatever we want to call it.
No.
That's what powers her.
Nix.
Which means...
Nix.
Franklin, hear me out. If we find another one of these materia, these Omni shards, whatever, we can use that for the mech project.
Hang on, Evangeline says. Even if we could find, even if this is, you know, proven to be fact, then the Omni Crystal is still here. There will be no reason for, you know, there to be any more materia after it's been put back. The Warriors of Light from thousands of years ago put it back the way it was.
That may be the case, but the world's going to shit already. And for all we know, the Dragon Queen could have been in Cornelia before and that may have, I don't know, broken the crystal. I don't know, but what I'm saying is if there's a possibility that we can just get a piece, use it to power the mech.
This is an artifact that literally powers the tyrant that we are actively facing. And you're suggesting we use it.
I'm not saying use the entire Omni crystal. I even with all of our minds, I don't think we'd be able to calculate enough of a balance to have the mech power everything like that. All I'm saying is that we get enough of a piece so that we can use it to our advantage.
You know how we agreed we were not going to get Bahamut because of how much damage it's already caused? Like, even if we could control it better now, it's too much of a wild card? This is even more of an unknown.
Vesta, that may be the case, but in this case, we won't have to worry about a populace being terrified of the concept of the Omni Crystal being used. If we brought Bahamut, all of Elion would still be terrified because of the fact that that dragon laid waste to not only Bermesia, but other nation cities across the continents.
And how do you...
So then what's the difference with you using these shards and these mechs? They have incredible potency. Midas showed the Reaper in public.
He showed it to us. I wouldn't necessarily say that's public per se, but with Midas's help designing the mech, I'm certain I can find some sort of way to calculate the balance between the proportions of Magitech and the flow of the magical energy within the shard.
And how exactly do you plan to get any of these shards, even if you did try to grab one?
I don't know. It depends on where it's at.
Again, as I said before, if these shards exist, then they must have already been put back with the Omni Crystal. The only way you could ever grab a shard is by plucking it from the Omni Crystal itself, and even then, that you're playing with fire there.
That's more Ruvik's job. He's the one in charge of the fire crystal, but... Oh. Okay, that might be a good counterbalance, but even then we'd have to go back to all the different spots. I'll save that for another day, but... Look, I know I sound crazy, which honestly is not saying much. But it's either that, or we face the Dragon Queen just for the possibility of trying to break off a part of her core, which is, at this point, probably even more impossible.
Vesta, would you mind if I have a quick conversation with you in private?
Oh, sure.
Alright, she kind of grabs you, your arm and kind of steps aside. Alright, so... I'd recommend saying this to you, then to everyone, and Nyx would probably throw it out of the window before it's even heard. But... you're proficient in magic. And there's only one other person I know who is proficient in magic. Or somewhat knows magic inside and out. And I get the feeling that if you guys can find a way to weaken her core, or find a way to destroy this thing that's holding her and that's keeping her alive, then perhaps that's the one way we can beat her.
And what might you be implying?
We're gonna need some help. And I don't know much about magic, but I get the feeling that swords, spears, and guns aren't gonna do it that well. And so that's why I'm mostly talking to you about this. do you happen to know, like, I guess, anything that could possibly help us out? Or anything that could weaken it really, really significantly?
Nothing the rest of the group would approve of.
As in?
I mean, we've already gone over Bahamut, but that's the only thing I can think of that would be even close to enough power.
Bahamut?
Well,
I mean-
yeah.
She kind of puts her hand on her chin for a little bit. I mean, Bahamut is kind of controlled by the Dragon Queen. We'll talk a little later.
Alright. We can both agree that this, like, using a part of the Omni Crystal for Nyx's machination is a terrible idea, though, right?
Oh yeah, it's fucking insane.
Oh, thank God. I'm not the only one.
Alright, let us head back. And then after after a little bit, they come back down to back over to where you all are. And they were saying this very secretive.
Yeah, no,
Right.
they went off to do their own thing. Nyx is still trying to convince Biggs, Wedge, Midas, and pretty much everyone else that trying to take the shard of the Omni Crystal is our best bet.
Yeah. While you are trying to convince them and still like, hey, I swear this is a good idea. You see Evangeline and Vesta come back. All right.
kind of partly not recognizing that they went off to begin with. Is just Nyx is just still trying to fixate. You can see it slightly writing some notes while they're talking, like trying to calculate late magic in Magitech again, because... And he just kind of looks at everyone and is like, okay, look, I understand that right now this is crazy, and I'll admit I'm not going to be able to figure this all out in a night. But I was originally trying to find a way to meld magics to amplify the mech in some way or another, which honestly in itself sounds very terrifying. And I was hoping that Amon would have some ideas to have notes as to him possibly helping out in this. This is that moment. The use of this materia that could be the answer to all of this.
Okay, and Midas kind of says to you, as much as the idea of using an all-powerful source of magic is using it to, power one of our technologies, as much as that sounds so fascinating and so cool, I'll have to disagree with you on this one. Now, think about it. Even if you can find a way to secure a piece of this, how would you number one, you wouldn't be able to attune it in some sort of way, because this is this is some sort of power that's never been tampered with ever. And also, as Evangeline said, the Omni Crystal was put back, and there is no way that there would be any shards left for us to even experiment with.
I mean, what other option is that? The only thing that I can think of that could possibly be as powerful is to take energies from all four of the elemental crystals, which that in itself is probably going to be even more difficult.
And he kind of walks up to you, and he kind of puts a hand on your shoulder. He's like, Nyx, I know you want this to work out, and I know that you're trying everything, but this is too much. There is no way we would even be able to secure one of these crystals, and even so, who knows about the ramifications that could come after this? What if again this sort of power goes into the wrong hands? Do you have any idea how bad that would be for the entire world if they found a way to harvest the power from the Omni Crystal?
You see Nyx just kind of goes silent for a moment, just kind of looks at Midas a little sternly. It's like, are you backing out on me?
I'm not backing out on you. I'm just saying that this Omni Crystal thing, it can't be done.
But it has been done. It's already happened. What you're saying for a future possibility has already happened in the past, which means it can be done.
It has been done, but with the Warriors of Light of old, they restored the crystal. So, if you're even listening to the words that are coming out of my mouth, how would we be able to even grab one of these shards? If the Omni Crystal is one again, there is no way we would be able to secure any one of these.
I can find a way. I'm sure I can find a way. Even if I have to sneak into where the Omni Crystal is, I'll figure something out.
What? Are you even hearing yourself? Like, there's no way you could even go near the Omni Crystal. Why would you even want to even tamper with things such as that? Do you know the kind of shit you could put the world in if you mess this up? No amount of light from the crystal, the Warriors of Light, could ever fix anything if anything goes wrong.
The world's already in shit, Midas. A machination that has decided to try and destroy not only one alien, but apparently two, if not more, is already trying to turn the world to shit.
And you're trying to make another one of those machinations. It's not that this is a difficult, impossible to do idea, it's that it's just downright reckless.
Now, what if that machine decides to go rogue as well? You saw what it did to the Dragon Queen.
It won't go rogue. I'm not a Mon. I am better than that. I can do this.
Let's think rationally. These things have a tendency to take minds of their own. We've seen what happens. Let's not be reckless. Please.
Damn it. Fine.
I'm sure there's another way. But we can't... Shit. We can't risk the world. Not right now. Not while we're on the verge of saving it.
Might be the case, but... forget it. Nyx just kind of walks off.
Just leave him. He'll soon realize. You must remember that.
I just need time.
We're all a little bit stressed, so we just need to chill out and think about this.
Yeah. Can I... This is gonna be, like, this might lead nowhere. But, I would like to cast Divine Sense, just, to see if, there's literally, like, any evil spirits around us, because my spidey senses are tingling.
Yeah, you can use Divine Sense, and, there aren't, in terms of evil spirits, you don't feel anything. But you do feel something, I know, that, Divine Sense only senses evil spirits and such, but I'm just gonna count this as part of your abilities. With your, Divine Sense, you can sense something. It's not evil, but you feel a sense of justice, and you could feel it sort of awakening underground.
Oh, shit.
And it's faint at first, but it's slowly growing.
Oh. That can't be good. I don't even know how to, like, tell that to someone right now, so I'm just gonna keep that on the down low for now.
Alright.
Because I don't know how to verbalize that.
Alright, yeah. So yeah, that's all you really feel. But yeah. This is okay, so Midas is gonna head up to top deck, and he's gonna be like, alright, how long exactly do you all have to wait on your garments?
The shopkeeper told us like 2 hours, and then after that, the king wanted to meet us.
Alright, well, whenever that will be, just let us know whenever you head out to do things, just so we can know, in case if things go wrong or whatever, we'll know where you're at, or that you've left.
For sure.
And we'll go one by one. Alright, what exactly do you guys... Okay, so I'll ask, first, let me see. Okay. Alright, Franklin, what is it that you wanted to do for the next 2 hours?
Oh. I will, take out, Ashura, and, in my quarters, I will, kind of just along the hilts of the blade, I will go about inscribing, 2 runes. One with kind of the symbol of like a flame, and another with the symbol of like some sort of cloud. And then once I'm done, just I guess just chill out for a while, not up to anything else.
Alright. Alright, Vesta, what exactly
Yes.
did you want to do for the next 2 hours?
I think I'm gonna go to like the community area on the airship and start reading through S's books, but like not just skimming, properly sitting down and reading them.
Alright, which book did you want to start on? And did you want to like go in order, or are you just picking up random books and reading them?
I'm gonna go in order, so I'm just gonna start with number 1.
Alright, alright, so I'll go down through the list once I have everyone's itinerary for the next 2 hours, and I'll tell you, the book that you're starting. I'll tell you the story about the book.
Sure.
But yeah, alright, and as for you, Nyx, what is it that you will be doing for the next 2.5 hours? 2 hours, I mean, sorry.
Well, honestly, it's probably going to be close to 2.5 since Nyx kind of walked out. Nyx is probably just going to be in their quarters with their mage spellbook and a bunch of notes, once again trying to calculate the balance between magic and magitech.
Alright. And that's what you'll be doing for the next 2.5 hours?
Yes, you could definitely hear it. Like, it's not going to be quiet, that's for sure. People, like anyone who's near Nyx's quarters, can definitely hear tons of muttering of like various stuff, like going through the texts in the spell book with a mix of mathematical equations involving magitech. It's mixed with a bunch of frustration, swearing. Nyx is just not happy right now.
Alright. And yeah, so about 2 hours goes by. You can start to see that the sky has turned from a sort of light blue to a deep orange and sunset color. Vesta. Alright,
Yes.
so in this 2 hours, I don't know. Would you say, okay, would Vesta be a fast reader, or do you think she can clear a book in 2 hours?
Depends on how long the book is. I'm pretty sure you said they were like a couple hundred pages each,
Yeah.
right? So I'm sure she wouldn't completely finish the first one yet.
Alright, so I'll just tell you what happens up to, I'd say, the halfway point. Pretty much, to summarize, okay, so the world is shrouded in darkness, and it's been like that for like the past 2,000 years, and there has always been a prophecy called by a philosopher named Lucam, and the prophecy goes as such: when darkness veils the world, 4 warriors of light shall come, and if they cannot quell the darkness, then darkness shall rule over the world. And once that introduction is over, the actual book starts out with a nameless hero and his 3 other associates that are also unnamed, and they pretty much head into Cornelia Castle to talk to King Cornelia, and he gives them the task of saving their daughter Sarah from the clutches of an old knight that used to be the best out of the entire city. You might know him by the name of Garland, and he's known to be a respected knight throughout all of Cornelia. And those 4 nameless warriors with clutching crystals of fire, water, wind, and earth, they go off to the Chaos Shrine to face him. And after facing him, he gets it seems like he was defeated, but he isn't. But up to the point where you are, pretty much they just explore all throughout the lands, curing a dark elf, helping out dwarves and such. It's just your typical fantasy story. But that is where the point that you are ends, and it is now sunset. And Midas comes down from on high to say, "Alright, I think right about now is where your garments should be ready."
Alrighty. Did you let everybody else know, or?
I kind of just mostly told you because you were down here, and you know, no one else is, so.
Alright. I'll go ahead and link pearl the others and let them know.
You know, I keep forgetting we have those. How do I get? And then he kind of just goes off all murmuring. All right.
I will head down to the community room.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. You all, by the way, before you head into the community room, you do get a link for all call from Best.
Hey, our clothes are ready if you guys want to head out.
Just give me a minute. I'll finish up here. Just quickly hangs up.
I'm on my way.
Alrighty.
I'm on. Get my way.
Oh.
Anyway.
God damn it.
Goddamn. Anyway. Terrible jokes.
Very.
But yeah. After Nyx gets done with his little thing, you see him, you see Franklin, you see Evangeline, and Ruvik as well. And Midas is like, "Alright, be safe out there."
Will
I
do.
will.
Alright. And he opens up the hatch to the airship. And yep, you make your way downtown, probably walking at a moderate pace. And yeah, you find your way to the clothed shop. And when you enter, you see at the counter Robert staring you down, just like, "Oi! Looking at you still.
We come in peace, friend.
What is it, Robert? Oh. I see you've come to pick up your garments.
Yes, we have.
All right, just give us a few minutes, and we shall have them out. And he, after a few minutes, he comes back. Vesta. He says, "All right, Vesta Morai, Moray. I get. It's hard to pronounce that name.
Yeah, no worries.
All right, and this should help you with the cold." And he hands you your coat, sort of thing. It's like a very nice, I would say decent quality fur, and sort of it looks like a coat, but just in your color scheme.
Right.
But yes, it's made with different types of wools, polyesters, and all that kind of stuff. And he brings another one out, Evangeline Crescent. And then she comes up, picks up her garments. Hers is just like a dark blue and dark purple kind of mix coat. And Franklin Viagra?
That one's sticking.
Man, better if you call me that. No. Vialis right here.
Vialis. Oh, I apologize. Yes. Here you are, and he kind of brings out from the under desk area. He kind of just brings out your chest piece, your gauntlets, your entire gear. But you can see that fitted between these plates are nice paddings of not only gamison, this really soft sort of protective layer of gear, but there's also some fur in between the places. Along with some extra padding in certain areas that you might need it, like elbows and knees. Is that right? And here you are. Everything is nice and presented to you. And you do see the extra piece of cloak that goes down to your ankles.
Oh yeah, we Jon Snow in this.
Oh yeah. And he says, Nick's Drake?
That's me.
Okay. And he grabs a hanger with your clothing. It looks a lot like Vesta's, but fitted for a taller individual. But it is it is your color scheme of red, brown, and green.
I'd take it and kind of immediately swish it onto my back.
I fit fine?
Fine enough.
Right. And hopefully that keeps you nice and warm, and it's really nicely padded and such. You have it's the same kind of fur, kind of same sort of like fur kind of material, and padding and such. And he looks down. He's like, Ruvik Cortez. And he says, "That's Rivik Cortez," and I thank you. And he walks up and he grabs his thing, and then you see the face of the shopkeeper. He's just like, and he hands it over. But and he says, "All right, feel free to try those on, and let me know if there's any adjustments that you all might need."
Will do. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Well, go on then. Try them on.
Nick's already has his on at this point.
Yeah.
Because of the switch.
Suppose Vesta will don her coat as well.
What's on the armor?
Ah, look at you all. All right, you ready to take on the winter cold of Ishgard? Especially since it's getting winter, so you're gonna run into some real problems. So I'd recommend keeping that on, or else you might get frostbite.
I know something about that.
So yeah, enjoy your garment and spread the word. I would like to have more customers around here, but we just don't have a lot of them. So just spread the word, and you can get more people fitted and nice.
Thank you very much.
Take care.
You too?
And And Nyx walks on out.
And he just like you can see Robert waving his knife like this. Anyway, but yeah, he waves you on out, and you all head out of the store. And when you head out of the store, you hear some marching, and that marching is coming in your direction. And when you all see it, you do see that it is the Cornelian Guard in silver armor. They just start marching, and they stop in front of you. Warriors of Light?
That's
Indeed.
us.
And they all kind of bow, and they're like, the king will see you now. Follow us.
Oh, that was perfect timing.
And then they kind of turn left face, if anyone knows military faces, and then they go in the inner direction. Do you all follow them?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
All right. And they lead you up through. They lead you on through the gates, and they make their way into the throne room, where you see the chancellor and the king playing chess. And when they arrive, they're like, Your Majesty, the Warriors of Light, as you've requested. Ah, thank you. And he says, carry on. And then they all turn and they go around you. Welcome back, Warriors of Light. I trust that you're I see you're all in fitted clothing. Suppose you'll be heading to Ishgard? Soon?
As soon as we're done here.
Well, now that it's, starting to set, you can see that the sun has moved from, instead of being above the horizon, to being very close to the, under the horizon, meaning that, it's starting to turn from like a yellowish, orangish color to a black kind of color, like night. And he says, alright then, follow me. Chancellor. Right away, sir. And then the Chancellor goes over into this little room, and he says, alright, if you'll follow me.
Very well.
Sure.
And Vesta will follow suit.
Nyx will as well.
See?
Okay. And so does Evangeline and Rubik. And they lead you into this room where you see a crap ton of stuff. You see the 3D map of Elion that you've all recognized. You see that mysterious game with the holes in it. You see the tic-tac-toe board. You see the chess boards. You see all different types of stuff. But he carries on, continuing to go forward. And he heads over to what looks like a lever. And says, alright, beyond this door is something very large. So I'd recommend, not looking it in the eye. And he kind of pulls the lever, and this hatch kind of opens, and he says, alright, walk on. And he steps onto this little platform.
I will cautiously step forward.
I will follow as well.
Yes, sir. Same.
Alright, and when you guys land on the platform, he pulls another lever, and you all begin to descend what looks to be descending. And you guys just keep going at a very... It's a lot faster than the Crystal Towers elevator, but it continues to go down, 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 down. And it feels like, on this elevator, it feels like you guys have been going down for a good 10 minutes or so. And he says, you'll have to excuse the long wait time. We're going to be here for a little bit. Like I said, this thing is pretty big.
How far does this descend?
About About maybe 10,000 feet.
10,000 feet.
No. I'm exaggerating a little bit. Sorry, it's about 5,000 feet.
That's still very deep.
Alright, so we should be arriving very soon. And he kind of just starts walking. He says, alright, so to kind of debrief you on this sort of thing. Alright, I presume you know about the origin of the Omnia Crystal and how it got here, right?
Yes.
And you know how there were originally 4 gods that brought it here. Ifrit, Titan, Ramu, and... What the fuck was the other one?
Leviathan.
I'm an idiot. Leviathan, Ifrit, Titan, and Ramu. You remember those, right?
Kind of hard to forget about them, but yes.
Well, not a lot of stories tell of where those gods come from. And this sort of thing has been kept here for a really long time after the Omnia Crystal was brought here. It sort of settled here, and it kind of made a sort of cover above it. And it's been waiting here in use for someone like the Warriors of Light to put it to use. And so, I feel like this thing, this god, could be a big help to you all. You may know him as the father of the 4 original gods. And then you guys keep going down and you arrive at the bottom. And when you step and when he pulls the lever to open the hatch, the first thing you see is a big, dark, empty room lit by torches. And at the far end of the room, which is about, I'd say, 100 feet away from you, it is a giant castle, about twice as big as Cornelia Castle.
Oh my god.
And Franklin, as you've been descending down these stairs, down this elevator, that divine sense of judgment seems to be growing and growing as you get closer to it.
Oh.
And he says, "Don't you guys worry. I know it looks a little imposing, but I trust me when I say that this is a great ally to all of Elian. Think of this as like the Mother Crystal's protector. You know how they say that if things are going wrong in the world, the Earth will find, retcon, the planet will find a way to deal with that sort of thing. You remember that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is it." And he walks forward and he says, "Alexander, awaken." And what seems to be kind of just blank nothing, just nothing seems to happen. You see in the center of this castle, a yellow sort of light just starts to appear, and this sound starts to ring in your ear like a boing. And you see after that happens, the king sort of yells out, "The Warriors of Light need your help again." And you see, I keep saying that, sorry. You notice that the light gets brighter and brighter, and the castle starts to move, kind of. You feel a rumbling, but next to your amazement, you can see sorts of gears and metallic sort of mechanical parts moving around. And what you soon see is a giant hand sort of come out from this castle and slam down. And you see another arm kind of come out here and slam down. And it starts to raise itself up, the castle being sort of the body and the head of it. And it just starts to continue to raise up and raise up. And once it rises up, you can see that standing in front of you is a giant sort of castle just looking down at you all, muttering in a language that you don't seem to understand at first. once it starts to say, you hear in your heads, "Hello, warriors of light. It has been some time." And after it says that, you can see two angelic-like wings come out from the. Some would say he's the origin of all Eikons.
We're staring at the origin of things right now.
Mm-hmm. He was the one who brought the. He, along with his children, brought the Omni Crystal here to protect it. And ever since it landed here and kind of made itself a little shield, aka Castle Cornelia, where we live, he has entrusted himself into the hands of a certain family. That family just so happened to be my late wife's ancestors.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No problem. It's okay. She knows. She's always wanted Alexander to be free again, so I'm sort of presenting you her essence. Alexander, you follow the warriors of light now. Defend them and anything that they might need. And in your heads you can hear as you wish. And this sort of castle thing, it starts to raise itself a platform of dirt and earth and concrete. It starts to raise up and raise up. And he says, King Sid just sort of says, "We might want to start heading up now, because this is you're really gonna want to see this." So he's gonna go into the elevator. He says, "Come on now, come on!"
Franklin follows behind.
I'm not wasting any time. I'm following as well.
Yeah.
Nyx is gonna take a quick bit just to kind of look in awe because this doesn't look like a god. It looks like a machine. So Nyx's brain is sort of backfiring as like, what is going on here? This looks like a machine, but it's the father of gods. What is oh shit, everyone's gone. Just like in that moment, he just kind of looks around. It's like, wait, what the fuck? What are you all doing over there?
Get your ass here now!
Fine. Jesus, how is that a god?
I wouldn't question it if I were you. Cornelia, King Sid says.
A bit late for that. As Nyx kind of gets in the elevator.
Alright, and then he kind of pulls the lever, and then he pulls a separate lever that's a little bit to the left. And then he says, "You guys might want to brace yourself for this." And then he pulls it.
Wait, what?
And then immediately you all start to shoot. As soon as you say that, Nyx, the platform that you're all on just starts to shoot up. And you guys get a little winded for a second, almost as if like gravity is like 10 times way harder, and like it's kind of hard for you all to stand because of all the pressure. And he says, "Just hold on to something." And then after what seems to be hours, but no, it's just a few seconds go by, and you guys arrive at the top, and you all hear rumbling, just like a sort of thing. And when you guys exit this sort of elevator, he says, "All right, come." And he kind of starts running out towards the exit towards the entrance of the main castle. Will you guys follow him?
Just we're following, and then Nyx just kind of looks at everyone and just go, "Did everyone just see what I saw?"
Yeah.
I think so.
We just casually are looking at the face of creation. You know, no big deal. It's just a Tuesday.
That castle. What?
Don't fully get it either.
Hang on 1 second.
This is like as we're all walking out, it's just like, how is that a god? There were gears. It's stone, and oh my
shit.
god, is it actually possible?
Hang on. What the hell is it? What's going on, man?
Angel, did you break something already?
No, I was trying to figure something. I guess not. I'll just add it in later. Alright, so pretend that this picture of the airship is Alexander, alright? When you guys exit out of the castle, you guys are in the markets district, and it's pitch black night right now. And upon like you guys kind of rushing out, you guys see on this island here. On this island, you see a giant fucking Alexander. I have a picture for that actually.
Not just an Alexander, huh?
Hmm?
Not just an Alexander, huh?
How does a bastard orphan?
Alright, here, I have a... There we go. Nope, that's not it. Fuck. Hang on, sorry. Alright, here we go.
It's not just an Alexander.
This is fucking crazy.
Yeah, I think this is a little bit more than a $10 founding father.
I'm looking for a good I'm looking... Well, not a good picture. I have the picture, I'm just uploading it. It's just taking its precious ass time.
No worries.
There it is. Alright, so ignore the dragon there. This is just to kind of give it scale.
I'm sorry, what?
Oh.
Oh my god.
See, now
what?
that castle that you see there is regular Cornelia Castle, but what you see in the back, that's Alexander.
Holy.
Oh my
fucking-
god.
Well, this guy's presence is now known.
So yeah, he kind of
Yeah.
raises up, and his eye starts to kind of spring out a yellow kind of light. Boom. And then once it's kind of out of the ground and such, you can still see the turning gears and such. It starts to envelop itself into a light, like a yellow color, more like a platinum yellow color, like a very bright white, but it's more yellow. But it starts to envelop himself into this sort of white light, and it starts to kind of shrink and shrink and shrink and shrink until it turns into like a little beam of light, and it immediately breaks off into 4, and it lands inside of your crystals.
Oh.
And now you have access to his ultimate move, Divine Judgment. And yeah, so you guys have... Oh shit, I moved the thing. But yeah, now you guys have Alexander on your side, and that's it. And he says, alright, now a couple of things you want to keep in mind when using him is that he's sort of very, very powerful. So I'd recommend when you use him, try not to use him on... First of all, try not to use him on small enemies. He would kind of take that as like a disrespect. But also, number 2, try not to have him near any major cities, because this thing will literally ravage. This will raise cities to the ground. And I mean big cities like us in Cornelia.
That's a good point.
Alright, well, if we're lucky, we won't be near any cities.
But yes, I trust that you will use this gift well, and think of it as like a parting gift from my late wife, who sadly passed away in the Bahamut attack. So this really means a lot to me.
Thank you, Your Majesty. We will use this gift to the best of our knowledge in honor of her sacrifice.
Wasn't much of a sacrifice. Hell, she was taken. But I'm not gonna get into the nitty gritty. But
Yeah, that's probably a good idea, because I'm not even sure I would. I've got some research to do. And we've got hopefully a war to prevent. But still, thank you this gift is very much appreciative, and definitely gives me ideas. You might not want to know about that. Let's just say we'll use them for good. We won't destroy any cities, and good luck ruling Cornelia, I guess.
I'll pretend I never heard you say that last part. But
Also, probably a good idea. I'm going to go. The rest, just kind of looked at everyone else. Airship, Ishgard, right?
Let's do it. Thank you, Your Highness, again.
I ring up Wedge on the link pearl.
okay. Oh. Yeah. Oh shit. My bad.
Yeah. No,
Yeah, he picks up.
Ready to ship. We're heading to Ishgard now.
All right, then bring your asses back here so we can head out.
Right, and we'll talk about this when we get to the ship, but something just happened, and you might not 100% believe it.
I saw it. Did you not see how big
Okay.
that was?
Fair point, but this might actually mean that some of my theories are even more accurate, but we'll talk about that when I get onto the ship.
All right, well.
Hangs up.
All right, and that is where we will end our session. Thank you guys for coming on down, and we'll go. But for right now, I'll just say that no, never mind. It's gonna be a little bit more complicated getting over there. So never mind. I'll just go through that next time. But yeah, goodbye everyone. To streamers and creamers.
Bye.